Hi to those who are not beginner in After Effects and slightly advanced or medium. Um, this is the tutorial for you. It's a breakdown. It's not really a tutorial. It's a breakdown of how I did this so that to save you time, so that you don't have to go through the 1 hour. I just finished recording the first part and I still have to do the second part, and I think this is going to be too long if you're advanced in After Effects. So the way I created this, and here's the breakdown. My name is Mr. Popoy. We're Popo, of course. Basically, as you can see in my scene, a lot of secret to doing this comes from the CC, to be honest. Because if I take it off, you'll see it's absolute difference. Okay, you'll have to excuse me. My After Effects is currently rendering medium coders and rendering, so it's going to be a little bit slow. So if you look at the way this look, is just not going to be exactly the same as if it wasn't for the CC, the post processing. Another thing that's taken a lot of time here, I think it's better if I just take it off for a while, is the sweep thing. Should be slightly better. I think we could go a little bit faster now. Yeah, so let's go through the breakdown. So basically we have the ball. Okay, so the ball is basically just a CC sphere, and if you go inside, you will see that it's literally just a shape layer with color gradient that are blended so that I don't have it sharp like this. So colors are blended, and then I use a wave warp by controlling the wave speed and wave height and length, because before that it was just like that. Okay, so I pin all the edges, and the reason I do this is so that I don't have this thing here and I don't have it coming from below. Okay, I turn the speed down so that it plays nicely, as you can see here. It's rendering, so I can't really play with my After Effects. So yeah, there we go. And then I create more of these by changing the color, and then I create 2 more. Okay, and just so that I take your eye inside, because if I go back here and if I don't use this one, specifically the middle one, the ball is so homogeneous, it's so in one color that you'll be able to see all the problems with the sphere. Okay, so for me to save that and to take your eye away, especially from this line here, what I did was I took your eye by using this, which is a brighter color for all the colors I used here. So now you're not going to focus on all the imperfections. You're going to be focusing in the middle, and that's exactly what I wanted. But still, it doesn't fix this problem here. To fix that problem right there, what I did was I created a sphere and I gave it a glow and I put it right in the center. So now it's gonna kind of hide all those things, but in the same time it plays a little bit with the narrative of this ball, because that sphere glowing inside means like it's a life form. So it's not just a ball, a random ball stylized, but it's a life form. And to make this life go even better and explain it even better, I gave particles. So let's look at some of the particles here. Let's just look at the small one. Can I see it? I don't think I can. Yeah, all right, no, I can. So as you can see here, I just made a very simple particular setup here. It's very simple. I just used the sphere emitter, and this position of the emitter is actually following the sphere control. Basically what I did was in my ball, I made this offset follow the sphere control. The sphere control is going on a circular level. The way I did the circular level was very simple. So what I did is I create a new composition just to show you how to do that, because it's really hard to make a circular path, and to solve that circular path, it is really hard if you try to go doing it by keyframes. You just okay, well, this is way too big. That's exactly what she said. So I'm just gonna go something like this. No, yeah, just something like this, just so that I can explain to you. So, all right. So now, okay. So now, if I put this one here, and then I go a little bit and try to do this here, and I go a little bit and try to do this here, and then I go a little bit and try to do this here, and then at the end, I want it to come back to where it was. It's gonna be a hard time. I'm actually already losing time if I'm working fast. I'm already losing time, and I need to make this even perfect. It's really a nightmare. So to solve all this, issues, there's actually a better way. So I'm just gonna go and reset this value, and I'm just gonna delete this. There's a better way. So if I take, I could just stay on this null, and if I just try to go in the center and draw the path that I want, for example, this one. So I'm just gonna go into this. I'm gonna copy the mask path. Okay, so I can just delete now the mask. I'll go inside the position and I'll just Control V. Now I have a perfect sphere and I didn't have to do anything. Okay, and then the cool thing about this is if I just F9 this, these are like a rover across keyframe. So these middle ones will change according to the first and the second and the last, which is really good, because if I go and do my normal speed, you'll see that it actually follows it and it spreads these guys according to how I feel like about the speed that I'm doing. Okay, so this is a little bit about the trick on how I solved the fast movement. So I'm just gonna go and delete this. Okay, so let's get back here. So yeah, so my particle are following this, and I just went and I played a little bit with how they look, and of course gave it a dip glow. Now, there is another secret to this, how this looks as good as this. It's all thanks to this fast box blur. So if I don't do this fast box blur, you'll not understand what's going on. Now, I'm using the composition tag inside of After Effects. So if I create a lot of masks here, I can go inside my fast box blur, and here in composition options, I can actually choose what kind of masks this effect will apply on. That's why this effect does not apply everywhere. It only applies when it enters here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make that effect, the ghostly effect, by just using this mask. And in the same way, if I have this turbulence and I do this turbulence, you'll see that the turbulence will only apply where that mask is. Okay, so this is really, really handy when you're compositing. Is that you have to know that that compositing tag will actually help you solo a certain effect only on a certain place, just so that you can understand a little bit more. Let's just say that we want it to glow here when it enters here. So I'm just gonna go and create a deep glow. So now deep glow is affecting everything. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go into effects, and I'm gonna go into deep glow, and right here you will see that I have composition options. So I'm just gonna click on this plus. Well, now I'm having a problem because I'm rendering, but the gist of it is that you can select an effect, a mask here that you want to apply it. If you want more, you just select even more. Okay, so that is just how it works. So for example, this one, this is mask number 3. So okay, so if I go inside effects, deep glow, and I go into here, I'm just going to delete this one, and here I'm going to go to mask number 3. So you can see that deep glow is only applied when it gets into mask number 3. See that? Cool. All right. So that is when it comes to how I stylized the sphere. Obviously, if you go here, I created even more balls that are rotating. I've already covered this in other tutorials, so you can check them out. It's basically using the same effect. They're being rotated. Cool. That is all about the sphere. Now, that being said, I went ahead and what I did was I duplicated this. When I'm completely done, I went and I duplicated this. Okay, so this is about the ghost. The ghost thing, if we look here, I'm just gonna turn everything off. So it's basically the same effect. You have a CC sphere. Obviously the opacity is a little bit down. So I went to the CC sphere and I added a CC vector blur. CC vector blur will actually stylize it this way. So by playing a little bit with these guys, you know, you'll get a different effect. So I went with this one, and then I added a turbulent displace. Okay, so just to displace it as it is moving, so it gives it more of that liquidy, hollow, ghosty kind of thing. And then I went and I added a fastbox blur, just so that, you know, it doesn't look as clean. And then I went with a chromatic aberration so that I can have this beautiful color separation. And the secret to this is to have these kind of values. All right, so you don't want to have because if you don't use this, you will get a different color. So this is just kind of like a secret options that I use. And then if I use a radial blur, I'm gonna get this. But the radial blur is actually a zoom blur. So this is the whole gist of this whole secret, if we could say so. Because without it, it's gonna be like that, and it's not as good looking. The moment you do this, then it's gonna follow that sphere path that we created. So if you're not having a sphere, all you have to do is a directional blur, okay? And then you animate the directional blur according to the path that you're using. Cool. So that is about the what do we call that? The ghosting effect. And then I went with sweep. Everything is really having a lot of values. That's why it's really hard, and I'm also rendering this tutorial. So for this sweep, I just wanted this kind of ghostly, only in certain parts kind of effect, as you can see here. Just gonna. All right, cool. So what I did basically was again, you have your sphere, okay, and you can see what I did was I just created a stroke. I'm just gonna show you. I created a stroke. There we go. Okay, so I just created a stroke. Okay, now that being said, I used this thing, the same ball, but this time it's gonna use that to appear. Then I went and I fastbox blurred and turbulent displaced on the stroke so that you don't see that it's actually a circle. Okay, so without the turbulence blur, it's a very clean circle. So with the turbulence displace, it's a little bit displaced. Okay, great. Then I went into the sweep. I added an echo. Echo is basically just it repeats the layer a certain time. I'm just gonna go with third resolution so that we can go a little bit faster here. So yeah, so we have that echo now. So that's pretty cool, but then we can see the echo, so that's not really that good. So I'm just gonna go and add a fastbox blur so that I can blend in all the echoes. And then I went and I did that same chromatic aberration secret thing. We're not gonna see it here because it's third resolution. And then I used the radial blur, and now I have this ghosty effect. Cool. And then of course I have another echo. Again, I just stylized this one. Okay. Yeah, so I just use the displacement map under everything, just so that it gives a bit, it displays the background a bit when it's there, but it's not really important. Okay, so for the background, it's basically just I was playing with a lot of colors and I ended up going with this one. So I created a background, a very normal solid, and then I went and I created this shape layer like this, and then I added a wave warp so that, you know, it's animated. It's not a still background, it's an animated background. Then I added some particles that are just flying here, as you can see. Remember, I'm using third resolution, so it doesn't look that great now. Okay. I believe, yes, I believe the particles are using exactly the same techniques for the fastbox blur. And as you can see here, I'm just gonna just solo these. So you can see that once they get into those, they actually blur, and it makes it really beautiful. It's like these beautiful details that add into the background. Perfect. Let's get back third. And then I did BNG R&D. So what I did here, I just created basically just a stroke, as you can see here, a stroke, and then I created this this thing here. So basically it's just a shape that is masked with a fastbox blur, and I just put it here. But then what I did was I rotated it, and then I used the wave warp, okay, and then to just get rid of how clear the stroke is, I just went and I used the fastbox blur. I know it makes it really blend with the background even better using a screen. And then I just duplicated it and I just put it on the other side. Okay, cool. And then this whole thing was not really looking good with the, because if I put this, you can see there's still a little bit of a difference between the colors of the background and that. So what I did was I just want you to focus on the ball. So I just went and I darkened everything. But now that I darkened, I had a problem with colors. That's where CC comes in. Cool. The first thing was I had to actually play with the curves. Okay, so just to balance a little bit the values. Okay. So just when I played with it until I was really satisfied. And then I played with posterized time. So if you play this like that, it's just gonna be okay. It's a sphere rotating. That's great. Okay, so you get this really boring. It's okay if you like it, but I don't. So excuse me. So I wanted to actually really have control over how it's going to look. So what I did was I did posterized time. So basically posterized time, it just affects the frame rate of your composition or your layer animation. So I just wanted to affect everything. That's why I put it on an adjustment layer. So the particles frame rate is going to be reduced to 12. Okay, so now if I play, you can see that it's not playing 25 frames as 24 frames that it's supposed to, but now it's only playing at 12, so it's like half the frames. So that's why it looks really stylized. I did a little bit of vibrance to bring up a little bit the colors of that blue here, because I felt like I lost it when I did the darken. Another thing I did was I added a sharpen, just so that I can sharpen the edges, and it really looks so beautiful here. And it looks even way beautiful if I add these things here, these little things here. So again, without sharpen, with sharpen, it really looks so beautiful. Again, I'm on third resolution, but on full, you're gonna see the full beauty of it. So before, after, so you can see the huge difference that the sharpen is making. And then obviously, just like you guys know me, I like to add a little bit of grain because I believe that nothing is clean. So just a little bit of grain makes life way better. I went and I created a stroke, you know, just so that you know, it adds a little bit of a what do we call that? Where is that stroke? I can't find it anymore. It's not this one. Okay, this is weird. Just gonna. I just want to find. Yeah, there we go. The stroke here. So basically, just the same sphere mask, and I just used a 3D stroke, and then I animated it. So yeah, there we go. That stroke there. So I just animated it. So all in all, if you just take off everything, you're gonna get this. It's gonna take some time to actually show. Damn, that was 20 minutes, and this was just a very easy, fast breakdown. I wonder how much this tutorial is going to be full parts, part 1 and part 2. Cool. So yeah, I hope you learned a lot from this, or you learned something from this. Yeah, this was Mr. Popo. If you have any question, you can try to shoot me. Not with a gun, but with a comment. And yeah, your likes and subscribes really means a lot. Please make sure you check the description if you can support the channel. Thank you very much, and it helps me continue on doing this. I hope you have a great day and a great week. Keep pushing pixels. My name is Mr. Popo, and we are Popo. I'll see you on the next one.